Hello everyone, I am Dr. Ragini from Ansal Technical Campus, and now I will be taking up a topic, strategic aspects of recruiting, and the learning objective for this session remains just one, that is we are going to discuss some of the major factors that can affect an organization's recruiting. Very simple but very crucial one. As we know, decisions about talent, regardless of whether they pertain to recruiting, transferring, promoting, developing or deploying people, need to be considered within the context of business strategies and priorities, right. This is what I had talked about in my earlier lecture also, that is the human resources planning, the recruitment in the company should be matching or should be in continuation with the organization's strategy as a which is a broad strategy, right. So, moving from there only, various factors that a company's recruitment strategy would be affected from could be who should do the recruiting, very important factor, who should do the recruiting. Now, who should do the recruiting? When we say this, who should do the recruiting, people will say what a stupid kind of we can say factor, or what a stupid kind of question that is coming here, because obviously in a company it is the HR's job to do the recruiting. Gone are the days, my dear, right. Now, what is happening is, now because as I said earlier also, that companies are now moving or becoming more smarter as far as recruiting part is concerned. Especially when I talk about big companies like Baiju, like White Hat Junior, like an Academy, then like Tata Motors, even TCS also, everyone, right. So, instead of moving from one campus to another, or instead of inviting so many candidates by floating advertisement and making recruitment as an event, as a 4 or 5 days or maybe a 1 week event in the company, and impacting the productivity of the company, they instead believe that why not sublet this task to someone else. Now, who that someone would be, right. So, this someone could be an HR partner whom they have retained from outside, maybe a consultant or maybe somebody who takes up the task of doing only this thing, and he is available, he is present in the company only when the recruitment has to be done, so that the other people are not involved into this whole process. It is like a kind of an calling an event management people and asking them to manage the whole show, right. Then likewise, many of the there is a very interesting concept which has come up these days, and this is called RPO. Now, what is RPO? RPO, just like BPO, we can say RPO is recruitment processing outsource, right. That is, they could be the job consultant, they could be the HR consultants also, a big who are given the task of carrying out the entire recruitment event in the company, and their task is to shortlist, screen the candidate, shortlist the candidate and provide those candidates for the final interview call to the company people, and this is how the task of the whole task of going through the entire process is shortened up, and hence the cost incurred in carrying out this whole event is also decreased a lot, right. So, again this is not hard and fast rule that only RPOs are going to conduct the interviews or recruiting for the firm. This is this decision has to be made by the firm or company itself, who should do the recruiting? The company HR people are going to do the recruiting, or they are going to sublet to some RPOs. Then another factor that has to be addressed out here is, should a company recruit internally or externally, right? Then the labor markets and employer branding. Moving ahead, when we talk of recruiting internally, right, many of the times this has been seen that when there are few posts available, few vacancies available in the companies, they do not advertise it, they do not give it even to the HR consultants, they just spread it among, they just communicate it to their existing employees. Many of the times they even put it on the billboards or the notice boards of the company, and the existing employees are given the task of finding out the suitable candidate for this particular post, and hence as this is how the vacancies are filled up, right. At times in this the vacancies internally are filled up by promoting the people who are on a maybe one rung one stair down to a higher level, and this is how the positions are filled up also. Then identifying talents through performance appraisal. As you can see a 9-box grid out here, this basically this 9-box grid has been created, or this is the prevalent, this is used very much in companies like General Electric and all, wherein time to time performance appraisals are conducted using two parameters, that is performance and productivity, and based on this these 9 grids are created, and basically these performance appraisals become the you can say platform for recruiting people internally for the higher or senior positions. Then skill inventories and replacement chart. Where do we find these skills inventories, right? There are various pools. The pool could be the existing database of the company itself. Whenever the recruitment drives are conducted in the companies, a lot of applications arrive in, and these applications, but not everyone is selected or hired in one go. So, what happens to the remaining applications? They are lying in the application pool of the company, and so again there are also skilled people, the talents are there, not required at that time, but later on whenever such talents are required, the company can always go back to this skill pool or skill inventories with them, right. Then apart from this, as I said earlier also, the job portals like Naukri.com, Shine.com, Indeed, etc., they are also a very big source of talents, or a very big pool of these such skills, and the companies can take these help to find out a right set of skills. But since we right now we are talking about internal recruitment, obviously for internal recruitment company will not take help of these outside agencies, but yes, their own skill inventories, their own skill pool would be a great help here. External recruitment is a very popular form of recruitment among the firms, among the companies, and these are all the methods of external recruitment. Advertisement takes place when there is a very tight situation of unemployment, that is the unemployed youth is not easily available in the market, then the company goes in for advertisements to attract right kind of talent. Walk-ins and unsolicited applications and resumes, then internet, social networking and mobile recruiting, job fairs, employee referrals, re-recruiting. Re-recruiting is, again I am using, I have been using this phrase earlier also, and I am focusing, I am emphasizing on this once again, that is the old employees who have left the companies, but were the able people, had the potential to serve, can be called again, re-recruited, giving them better benefits, and they can become a biggest source of can say talent for the company. Executive search firms, then campus hirings, professional bodies. Professional bodies like we have over here, we have the CII is here, then NHRD network is here. So, these bodies also at times conduct job fairs or job interviews also. So, bodies like this also a very big source of right set of talent can be hired by the companies, and then labor unions are also there. Public employment agencies, private employment agencies, and employee leasing. So, these are certain methods of external recruitments. This is the crux of the session today, that is how can we improve the effectiveness of recruitment. Right. And why I say this is important, before I move on to various methods of, or how this can be, if improvement can be made, is that as we know, recruitment is an event in the company which uh, involves not only the time of people involved in this, but also the money of the company, right. That means the time is invested, the money is invested, and if the results are not as desired, this is all going to go wasted. Obviously, the efforts are not to be wasted, right. So, in order to save your time, your hard earned money, and the efforts of the people, the effectiveness of recruitment should be improved upon. That is, the HR should ensure that whatever has been, whoever have been hired in the company, they are there, they have joined, and secondly, whoever are being hired, they are the right set of people, right. So, I will be going one by one here. First is using realistic job previews. What actually happens when the companies are posting their job descriptions or job specifications in various media platforms, that they give only the good part, or they only showcase the good part of the job, right. But when the employee, when the candidate has joined the company, after reading that job specification, after attending the interview, the reality check comes in. Oh, there are some bad parts also, right. For example, the company would say it is flexi time. Oh, very good. The time band is great, from 6 a.m. in the morning to 12 midnight. In this time band, you can choose any 9 hours. After 9 hours, the moment 9 hours are over, log off. Go, cool, very good. Once the employee has entered the company, after 2-3 days of training, or maybe during the training also, he finds out 9 hours, after 9 hours, fine, I logged off. The moment I logged off, my superior is calling and saying, you logged off? Oh, we have a small meeting at such and such time, kindly log in again. And this is becoming a practice. That means a 9 hours job becoming 10, 11, 12 hours job, right. So, this was not told before, this was not and this reality check then creates demotivation in the in the minds of the employees. So, whenever the job is being advertised, the best should be, the companies should give a realistic job previews. These are the good parts, the salary is good, the opportunity is good, the exposure is very good, fine, and these are the not good parts. That your job, fine, it says 9 hours, but it can be 10, 11, 12 hours also. The family life could be disrupted because it is work from home, etc., etc. So, that realistic check is very much required here, right. And then comes the surveys, right. Surveys, what kind of surveys? That is, before you conduct the recruitment drive, before a recruitment drive is conducted in the company, a small survey of the what your competitors are giving against that particular same kind of job, in terms of financial benefits, in terms of the work life benefits, etc. So, those surveys will certainly eliminate the loopholes that could be there when you are posting the job, when you are hiring the candidates, and that will also give a very good feel about your organization in the minds of the newly hired candidates. Then certain recruitment matrices are to be uh, given, right. Recruitment matrices like cost per event, right. That is, suppose for hiring people, the company impanels few sources of candidates. Say for example, suppose they are taking the help of Naukri.com to hire or to get good kind of candidates. So, suppose 100 such resumes from Naukri.com has been taken off, and they were called for the interview. Out of those 100 resumes, only 17 appeared for the interview, right. So, what is the can say ratio between the can say the applications and the interviews? It is only 17% people who have turned up for the, or turned up ratio for a particular job from a particular source, say Naukri.com. Right. Likewise, there could be another, just a small fry, a small consultant from whom the applications have been called, and suppose that consultant gave say 5 to 6 candidates and all of them appear. So, it was 100% turn up ratio, right. So, based on this, you can say that the company can decide for future sake who to be considered next for another such event whenever the company is holding, right. So, this is kind of, so here what is happening is that the turn up ratio is important, because the candidates who are being sent are coming, and then likewise another ratio can also, another recruiting matrix can also be arrived here, that out of say 17 people who turned up for interview, how many were actually selected, and later on how many retained in the company for full 1 year. So, based on these matrices, the company can derive upon the effectiveness of the entire recruitment drive that was conducted, right. And based on that, then they can arrive upon, they can find out ways to improve that, improve upon how or make it, how to make it better, right. Then another method is quality of fill statistics. Now, quality of fill statistics means what? Uh, see, every organization wants quality candidates, right. Now, so how to arrive to that figure, that whatever have been hired are quality candidates or not? So, there is a formula for that, which I would like to mention here, that is wherein PR is average job performance rating of new hires, right. Then HP is percentage of new hires reaching acceptable productivity with acceptable time horizon. HR is percentage of new hires retained for at 1 year or retained after 1 year, and N is the number of indicators, right. That means, now if we have to quantify this formula, if we have to use some numbers out here, we can say that suppose we take 5 as the or we have to rate the performance of new hires on a scale of 1 to 5, and the average performance that we find is say 3.5. So, for PR it is 3.5, right. Then HP, that is percentage of new hires reaching acceptable productivity with acceptable time frame, right. That is of out of all say 100 hires made 1 year ago, 75 are meeting the performance standard, desired performance standard. So, this becomes, that is yeah. Okay. So, this becomes 75 out of 100 here, right. And then the HR, that is the percentage of new hires retained even after 1 year. Now, out of the 75% people who could reach to that desired standard, say 80% of them have been retained even after 1 year. So, that is out of 75 or 80% of that 75 is there. So, I will write it just 80% only in order to ease out the calculation. So, now coming back here, as we say 3.5 is the general rating, a standard rating out of 5, that becomes say 70%, this is 75% and then 80%, right. Now, suppose we say N, that is the indicators, right, number of indicators. Suppose this is say a marketing job. So, for marketing job the indicators could be say indicator number 1 could be that the achievement of target, indicator number 2 could be their presence with the customer at the time when they were required to be there, say let us say 2 parameters only. So, N remains 2, so divided by 2, right. So, so the answer could be, or let us say if we take, we can take even 3 parameters also. The third parameter could be that their acceptance with the customer, they were polite, they were those things. So, acceptance with the customers. So, 3 parameters were taken and divided by 3, this comes to say 75, right. So, that means what? The quality of hire after a particular drive by the company becomes 75%, right. So, this is also on the basis of this, now company can say for sure that yes, they have hired quality candidates, at least the quality of the candidates that have been hired was 75% and it is a satisfactory figure, right. Now, the next one, that is time to fill. The time to fill matrix refers to the number of days from when a job posting was made till when the final hiring was done. Lesser this time, better is the performance of the recruiting partner or the HR department. Then comes the yield ratio, right. Yeah. Yield ratio is what? That is what has been the yield. say 200 applications had arrived in the ATS, and when the final interview call was made, out of 200 people, say 75 people rejected the interview call. Yield ratio is how much? Out of 200, only 125 people appeared for the interview, right. So, it could be, so accordingly we can arrive upon that yield ratio. So, again this yield ratio is the lesser the yield ratio, the more window for improvement is there. And then cost of recruitment, a very important factor, because as I said, a recruitment drive not only involves people, their efforts are involved, their time is involved, and the organization's money is also involved. So, we have to calculate the cost of recruitment. So, again I would give you a formula for this. This is source cost per hire right. Now, what does this mean? Okay. AC means advertisement cost. Whenever there is a recruitment drive, the company will be giving out some advertisement, and cost of that advertisement is a very important cost in the recruitment drive. Then AF is the agency fees, in case some agency has been involved for the recruitment drive. RB is the referral bonus, in case of the candidates coming through some existing employee, that is referral bonus to be paid. And then NC is the no cost hires, that is we have walk-ins also, right. So, for example, suppose company does not hire any agency for the employment, so it is only the advertisement cost. Say for example, the advertisement cost was 10 lakh, this was 0, then existing employees giving out some candidates or some referrals are there, and for each such hire there is say a referral bonus of say 20,000 rupees, and likewise we have say 40,000 rupees here, right. And then no walk-ins, so it is 0 divided by say total number of hiring was done, say 200 people, right. So, put it together, whatever figure comes out here, this would be the cost of recruitment per one drive, right. Apart from this, companies are also developing recruiting and developing women and not only women, then there are other talent concerns which are there, like these days company is also moving towards recruiting and developing minorities, then disabled, then older workforce, and then dual career couple, right. Dual career couple means both husband and wife are working, both husband and wife are working, and then there is a companies like General Electric and this Novartis and all, they have a very good system that in the evening they have a provision for the couple to take the packed dinner for home free of cost whenever it gets late for them to reach, right. So, these are certain other talent concerns which need to be taken care of. The bigger companies have already started doing it, and of course, this is going to move downline to medium and the small industries or companies also. And but yes, these are the latest trends, these are the latest things which are there and needs to be taken care of. Thank you very much.